everybody, and welcome to another edition of our Dealer Success Profiles. We're really excited this morning to have Terry Crump from New England Wireless with us. And Terry, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Thanks for being here. We're excited to have you tell your story to the audience, talk a little bit about some of the success strategies that you've used to grow your business. You and I have known each other for a pretty long time, and so feel free and kind of share some of the specifics of what makes New England Wireless so special. And let's start off with just kind of tell us a little bit about your organization.
Sure, thanks. New England Wireless was formed about 15 years ago, but I got started before that working with my brother, and he brought me into the business back in, I think it was 1996.
Wow! So
have really been involved for it'll be 25 years this August, and I think what kind of helps make New England Wireless, and other dealers, I think, different and unique is that we have grown as a small family business, and really, that the focus has often been on our people, right, and those part of the organization and their ability to be a part of our organization and how we operate. So I really think that that's made a difference for us.
Fantastic. So let's talk a little bit about, last year has been challenging for a lot of dealers across the United States. What were some of the things that you guys did to kind of work your way through last year? You've had a tremendous run up to this point, by the way. And so tell us a little bit about some of the things that you've done in the past that have worked for you. And then what did you do over the last year with this COVID problem to try and really get through that with flying colors and be in the position that you are now to kind of take advantage of this year?
Yeah, it's amazing to think back over the last year, and survival was a word that was often looked at, and how do we survive? It was not growth. It was not, we were very concerned about our customers, obviously taking care of them, but we were very concerned about ensuring that our people were healthy, safe, and were able to we could continue to employ everyone. So really taking advantage of all the different opportunities that were out there and staying ahead of any, the PPP loans and different opportunities locally that were made available to us. It became a full-time job often to do that, as well as ensuring that we have all the PPE, protective equipment, and just ensuring that we have the systems and processes in place that, daily screenings and all the different things that we never thought we'd ever have to focus on, in our business. And, we adjusted on the fly real quick, doing curbside service to our customers, and really focused on, how to embrace that and how to maximize that through that interaction with the customer, and to continue to find opportunities to sell additional products, where we're in a unique environment. And also, one thing that we did, and I've always been a big believer in development and training our people, and I think that really is also another piece that differentiates us, that we do take time to really develop our team. And we did reduce our store hours a bit, but we actually had employees coming in a little bit earlier. We moved our start time from, most stores were at 9, we moved to 10, but we started what we call boot camp, and we were on every day having everyone come in, and we would have different discussions and topics. And some of it was directly about interacting through curbside, but a lot of it was for long-term growth. We took advantage of the time to focus on some leadership training and some, basic sales trainings even, right? And just ensuring that we were taking, as best as possible, take advantage of the situation and try to grow and develop our team so that as we, now the doors are open and things are back to, almost back to normal. It's really helped as we see people be able to embrace and utilize some of those skills that we developed. And those are things that we've always embraced. We've always focused on developing and training, and it's an important part of our strategy for growth as an organization.
Before we run off that boot camp, talk to us a little bit about what's boot camp. What did you do specifically in those boot camps to make a difference with your folks? And then also talk logistically, when you say you brought everybody in, tell us a little bit, because a lot of us are spread out all over the place. I know you have, how many locations do you have these days?
Yep. So we have 12 locations in 3 states. Most of them in New Hampshire. 1 is in Maine and 2 in Vermont. So we are spread out pretty good. We have, some stores are 3 or 4 or 5 hours apart from each other. So yeah, we didn't, we went COVID bringing everyone in, right? It was, everything was virtual, and we had already started doing some of that because of logistically, it's hard to get everyone together in one room.
Right.
So we already had experience utilizing resources like Google Meet, and we also we use GoToMeeting is another platform that we use. So we were already set up to be able to coordinate meetings remotely, and so that really allowed us to embrace that. So it was, I believe we started boot camp in, it must have been April. So it was a couple of weeks after things started to close down. We decided to really say, well, what can we do to make this different, to embrace this. So, but we were set up to do just that. It was all remote.
So what was boot camp like? What were those calls, those virtual meetings like?
We tried to say, let's do whatever we can do. Some of it was, we focused a lot on core basics. So we started out with the basics. So basics of sales. So everyone back to core basics of selling, our sales process. And we tried to make it as interactive as possible. So it'd have anyone who was, and most people were scheduled from, we were closed on Sundays for a while. Most people were scheduled, 10 to, or we were scheduling 9 to 6. So they were coming in and we were doing this. So we were getting a lot of participation. So we could actually go through the process, every day, kind of talking about different aspects of the sales process. We also, I had his role as business development manager. He's really our B2B rep. And he really embraced, talking about his role and the process of working with small businesses. So both in retail and out of retail, we spent a lot of time on that, just really focus on prospecting and follow up and,
all
a
the
lot
basics,
of the,
pretty much
yeah,
covering all the bases there.
It seems so simple, and sometimes as we're moving fast and doing all the different things and we have customers coming in all day, some of those real basic foundational sales, pieces get lost a little, especially for people who've been here for a long time. They may form bad habits, and it's nice to kind of revisit that and talk through that. And but also it gave them a great opportunity to share their best practices, right? Where we're not always together as a group. So it gave a lot of our, senior reps opportunities to step up and really share what's worked for them, how they, as they can say, geez, I know this stuff, and really kind of help deliver the message.
Fantastic. Well, you had a lot to say there. So the ongoing meetings are really a huge help. Returning to the basics, very, very important, not just for your new people, but also, as you mentioned, for your folks that have been around for a while, and getting them involved, getting them engaged, talking about the things that maybe they take for granted that they're doing really well, that they perhaps haven't shared with the rest of the team. So sharing those best practices really works. And then there was one other thing that you said that I want to latch on to here for a moment, and that is that you have a B2B rep, a small business rep that works out of the retail environment and goes and talks to small businesses and tries to bring in that business from that might shift off to someone else. Tell us a little bit about how successful that program has been for you guys.
So Adam took on that role. It's been about 2 years now. And what I said to him is it's going to take at least a year to really get this ramped up. And of course, that 1 year point, we hit COVID and things were really starting to pick up. We have seen where we've had the most success through COVID was working with our existing base, right? Mm-hmm. So everything kind of came to a screeching halt, obviously,
right?
Where it was difficult to attract that new business, but he continued to persevere through and reach out and prospect. And he has a lot of that starting to, he has a lot in his funnel now that's really coming to fruition, that we have opportunities over the next 6 months for some good sale, closing some good sales. But a lot of it was just being there, right? So, I mean, as businesses were closing down or going remote or, trying to find ways even to save money. And, they all of a sudden they had a dedicated person that was reaching out to them. And I really think it helped us save a lot of customers, even if it wasn't the growth, right? It was, they stayed with us. And so it's been successful that way as much as anything else at this point. So
having a B2B rep is a big decision, and it's tough, like you said, to get that person up and running. You talked about how the importance of training, and certainly training for that individual is important as well, giving them some very specific direction on what we want them to do. But the other pieces of that puzzle that I think are interesting too is looking at it from creating more awareness in that first mile that we have, if you will, around our locations, in creating that business community awareness so that they can do business with us. And the other best part about that is you get to sell in bunches, right? Because they don't just buy one phone at a time most of the time. They'll buy multiple phones from you and upgrade multiple phones with you and buy lots of accessories. Are you finding that was been the case?
Yeah, and what's interesting is because we haven't had a B2B rep in a very long time, and we were able to service most of our business customers just in the retail stores, right? And if we needed to get out to them, we would schedule that. But it is creating opportunities because it's more time consuming, right? With a larger account, that our reps that are working in the store, they're just you have one customer walk in that needs help changing a password or something. It takes up a lot of time, and to be able to say, well, I can't do that. I can't help you, Mrs. Jones, right? I have this business that's not here right now that I have to take care of. So it's hard to kind of allow that to happen in the retail environment. So having someone who's dedicated to that, really has opened up opportunities. And it's also helping us to understand the opportunities moving forward to develop other folks to roll into that, under Adam and have more people in that environment. So that was one of the things that I wanted to, my vision of having B2B rep is not just one person and create a team, but I didn't, I needed to get to scale where we understood what the challenges were going to be again, right? Because it's been a while since we've done it, and also what the opportunities were going to be and how we can formulate it so that we could be successful. So I think it really has helped us, even again through COVID, where Adam kind of served that role to help do some training of other folks. It's really helping us see who really those candidates are as we move forward to try to grow that side of the business.
Excellent. Thanks for that. Another question I guess I have is success factors. All the dealers are looking for the secret sauce that's out there. What's the magic formula for making the business work, making it profitable over the long term? You've been successful at growing your business very systematically and having some very, very successful years. What do you think are the real keys to that success, specifically that if you were coaching another business out there right now, what would you tell them are the 3 or 4 magic pieces of the puzzle that will help them to be successful?
Well, first of all, I'd love to know myself, but uh, like
Right.
you said, we're all looking for it. But I think what's helped us, you know, people come first. So, whether it's our employees or our, our customers, we really have to focus on that. So, um, I think early on, like I said, when I get started a long time ago, my brother and I, he really dragged me into this. Um, but
Kicking and screaming.
it, yeah, exactly. I was going to school for my master's at the time. I was going to be a teacher. Was my dream, and he said take a semester off, and I've never gone back for that. So, uh, but um, one of the things that we realized early on as we started to grow was, and it wasn't just he and I and a friend working for us and, family members. All of a sudden, we're bringing more people in, and to focus on them uh, was so important, developing them, but also putting in systems and processes so that they can be successful and the organization can operate successfully.
Hmm.
Some of our biggest challenges we had early on were some of the things we maybe trusted people too much, and things happened that shouldn't have happened, that if we had just had better systems and processes in place, we would have caught early on. And
So you
but
turned
those,
back into a teacher.
yeah, exactly. I suppose so. I suppose always, right?
Right. Okay.
Um, I think another thing that's so important always we learned this early on is to really embrace the strategies and align with the carrier, right? So I think that that's so important, is to always align yourself with what their strategies are,
Mhm.
so that as they're looking to grow, you're in place and positioned to embrace that and be successful with that.
That's a good piece of the puzzle for sure for everyone, making sure that uh, our priorities are lined up with their priorities. And a lot of times that's a compensation issue too, right? Is
Yeah, it
because
really
they're
can be.
they're going to
It,
reward us based on what their priorities are.
but sometimes looking at the big picture, it may not always, we might see something come out and say, geez, I'm not going to make much money off of that. But why is it important to the carrier? And how can we make it work for us? And just have that open channel dialogue with the carrier too, to say, hey, we're embracing this, we're doing it, but it's costing us money to do it, right? What can we do to change that? And
Hmm.
and by showing that you're willing to take it on, a lot of times they're more willing to listen and say, okay, we get it. We will, we'll look at that, but not always. Obviously, it's not always in their best interest to do that either, and I get that.
Last question. Going forward, what's your advice to the dealer world out there and at DSS 21, all of the attendees who are looking for some specific strategies? What would be one or two of the most important strategies that you're trying to indoctrinate with your team and make sure everybody kind of is doing the right things that are going to make your organization successful?
Yeah, I think, moving forward, um, obviously you need to be innovative, right? And embrace any of the different um, programs and technology out there that can allow us to be successful, and really try to streamline things and to be more efficient. Uh, but I think even more so moving forward, the thing that I keep looking at um, and I see for us to be successful long term is finding ways to embrace omni-channel distribution, right? Retailing, um, but in a way that we continue to be relevant in the marketplace, so that the brick and mortar location is an important part of that multi-channel retailing. And I think that that's what I continue to look at, and how can we embrace it so that our customers can continue to utilize online features while understanding the importance of coming into the store, that we're here for them to support them, and they can touch and feel the product, and really that we can ensure that it's lined up with exactly what their needs are. And I think that's where a lot of success will be moving forward.
So I hear you saying that educating our people so that they can educate our customers about what we offer, how to use it, identifying those customers' needs, and being able to make recommendations that fulfill those needs is some of the important factors that you're focusing on going forward. Did I kind of sum that up all right?
Sure. Yeah, no, absolutely. Those things are all critical, right? And important in every situation. So, yep.
All right. Well, with that, any parting comments for the attendees at DSS 21, Terry?
I just want to say good luck to everyone. Obviously, this industry is fast paced and changes constantly, and I think we as an industry, need to work together and embrace all the change that's coming forward and ensure that we can all be successful.
Well, Terry, thanks so much for being with us today. Really do appreciate it, and continued success to New England Wireless.
Thank you, Mark.
You're very welcome.